Alethea Felton, and welcome to the Power Transformation Podcast. If you're struggling in your life with self-sabotaging and negative thoughts that leave you feeling stuck and limit you from moving forward, I can help you. As a holistic health and empowerment coach, I help people identify, challenge, and conquer those thoughts in order to make simple and practical changes to improve overall wellness. Let's remove those limitations, for the time is now to create your power transformation. Let's get right into this one. This episode, you are going to really enjoy this one because we are talking about health and fitness, something that everybody wants to get into. They have the questions about, and they just want it to happen for them. And oh, what an expert I have here today. But let's start with our opening affirmation. And actually, before that, if you are new to the Power Transformation Podcast, I am Coach Alethea Felton, and I thank you for joining. I truly appreciate you. And while you're at it, after you hear this episode, go back and listen to the 20 other episodes that you may not have heard yet. And if you are a regular listener, I am so happy to have you here. We start out with our affirmation. I'll say it once, and then you repeat it. I take steps each day towards living my healthiest life. I am so thrilled today, y'all, to have the one and the only Jamaine Winborne on the Power Transformation Podcast. And you will hear later on our history and how far back we actually go. Welcome, Jamaine, to this podcast. Welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me. I think it's really, really good. When I heard that you were starting a podcast and you wanted to have me on, I couldn't help but to make myself available, man. I gotta come talk to you. Let's chat it up.
Yes, thank you so much. And that's exactly what this is going to be. Organic, authentic conversation. And where I'll start from is, first of all, just tell us who you are. What do you do? Where are you from? Some of your background. Who are you?
All right. Well, I'm a father, husband, motivator, all of that things. I am from Virginia, Chesapeake, Virginia, born in Norfolk. Went to Indian River, so that Chesapeake area. Obviously, we've been around that area for a while. Always been in the sports. Obviously, youth sports to kind of keep me going. I didn't want to get a job after school, so I took the hard road. Went to prep school, military school, just to get in school, to try to get into college. I end up, getting into University of Virginia, UVA. In Charlottesville, changed my life, learned so much, grew, became a young man, and, full scholarship, playing football. And I wasn't ready to give up football at the end of those 4 years. So I continued to grind it out, even versus, all of the, the doubters, naysayers, and just my own having those own personal fights from within. And I went on to play professional ball for about 5 years, a little bit in New York for my first year, and then I spent the rest of my time in Baltimore. So I spent a lot of time there, got really comfortable with the tri-state area, loved that area. From there, when that came and went, and I enjoyed every bit of it, but it's definitely never for long. I was a little lost, had to figure out what I wanted to do. I always had people coming up to me asking me about, training, fitness, because I was always in some type of shape. I had to be because it was my job. And I didn't run right into the fitness world at that time. I was still doing a lot of personal development, trying to develop myself into what I needed to be post, sports. And a lot of athletes have that issue with that transition. And it was hard. It took me about a few years. I was back, eventually got back down to the Chesapeake area, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake area. And I spent a few years there trying to find out what it was I wanted to do. And at that point in time, I think, I don't know, I'm fast forwarding to about, maybe 2011, 2010. Literally fast forward about 4 or 5 years. Because it took me a while to really figure out what I wanted to do. My girlfriend at the time got pregnant, now my wife. So we went to Miami. My first son was born in Miami. And I think there's when I kind of like the fitness thing kind of hit, and I was like, okay, like I want to do this because I had done enough different things to know what wasn't passion, like what wasn't passionate to me. Because I think a lot of people, like for me, I was in my passion for so long, like and then I had to like transition. So that part for me was difficult, and I speak to that a lot to a lot of people who ask me or figure out where my road has been because I don't share my road a lot. I just I'm just kind of like a lot of people don't even know. But I went deep into the educational part. I knew the physical part, but I didn't know the educational part. So I really worked at that. You know, started from the ground up, moved up to New York. I was working at a small gym in New York, just excited to be around. I had clients, but I hadn't made it official yet. You know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
official.
Yeah.
And so then, I had my wife knew someone whose husband was working, or her boyfriend at the time was working at another location. So the location was crazy because I was traveling from like Staten Island to like Brooklyn, which was
Wow. Yeah.
crazy, crazy.
Exactly. If you know
So
that
then
geography, yeah.
exactly. So
Uh-huh.
so I end up moving to the same gym, but in Jersey, which was closer at the time, because all I had to do was go into this across the Bayonne Bridge. I worked in Bayonne for a few years, and that's when I really started to grow my, just my whole like I really started to hone my skills at that point in time. I feel like I started to pick up clients in and outside the gym, and I started picking up more higher end clients, and that's when I kind of knew that's where I wanted to be. I was still young in the game, not young but young in the game. So we eventually moved over to Jersey, moved up to the Edgewater, Fort Lee area up by George Washington, the GW Bridge. So that's when again, like that area was pretty good as far as doing that. Now, pay you mind, this time I was still kind of doing some odd jobs because I was transitioning. And if it's fitness, you gotta, at that time the online game was different. So it was pretty much non-existent. Maybe to me it was, maybe not to most, but most people I knew it was. So I was still kind of like hustling and busting. I was working, but I was still training. I was like training because I was not letting it go. And then I decided to kind of move forward full time with that. And I worked in some studios, but I really started to build my own personal clientele. And I started to grow. I mean, it was more than just the fitness aspect. It was also the personal development because I've always been big in personal development. When I tell you I was done with football, I had to dig deep to figure out who I was and what I wanted to do. That was a huge part of it. So I got into reading, advocate reader now, anything about somebody that's done something that, to just better what's going on in the world. I'm always reading. So like I really dug into the personal development, not only just from a personal thing, because I knew it always kind of started with me, like not really, just giving someone exercise. It's like it's more than just anybody can do exercises. Anybody
Yes.
can, do some squats, some push-ups, whatever it is. But I was trying to use fitness to show people because it happened to me when I first started and I was watching as people, and this is what my brand is about. I'm breaking into my fitness brand of Born to Win. So what happened is like I would see people as they started to improve their health, not even maybe just about losing weight, just knowing like they could do a push-up. Maybe they couldn't do a push-up before. Maybe they couldn't do a pull-up. Maybe they couldn't, do an exercise for 30 seconds. As they started to like move forward and accomplish those things, I saw that like they would come and tell me because when you have clients, you see them every day. You become their therapist. They start feeling like they can tell you everything. So I'm just like, like I'm hearing a lot, and I'm like, but it got to the point where I understood and I started to see things that improved in their life outside of the fitness part.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing was just like, if you can touch someone and improve their health, not necessarily, I don't want to make it about losing weight, but if you can improve their health, which obviously weight loss comes and plays a part with that, like it kind of spills over into other aspects of your life,
Mm-hmm.
especially from a confidence standpoint. And I rolled with that for a while before I really center stoned it and made it a thing in my business. So like I can give you examples. I had a young guy, doing well for himself, but just lacking a little bit of confidence.
Okay.
And I say young, I mean like this time he was in his mid-20s, so he was young, but he
Mm-hmm.
was doing well in his career. But in his love life, his social life was not what he wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And man, this guy, he put on a little bit of muscle. He started to he was feeling himself a little
Oh
bit.
yeah.
And that confidence exuded into his life. And he started, the ladies was liking him. He was able to walk into his position and demand um, upgrading his job. Whereas most people might say, he was advanced, like
Mm-hmm.
he felt like he was supposed to get that come up, and
Mm-hmm.
they had passed over him a few times, and he was living that corporate life, and he jumped up and he stood up for himself, which he would have never done, I felt like, if he didn't improve himself. So not to just really drive that nail in, but like it's a self-improvement thing. Like if you improve yourself, everything around you works. And I have clients now, because I'm virtual and I'm also in person still. Um, but now what I'm seeing too, even more, like, post COVID, all this, like
Mm-hmm.
I work with a lot of nurses, I work with a lot of execs now, a lot of business owners, and they'll run down, and or used to when they come to me, they run down. And what
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning is that these are like giving people, like such as yourself, you remind me so much of that. But they
Hmm.
give so much, but they're not, it's that part of their life, is their health and their wellness, that is just not there. It's non-existent. So what's happening is, like they're giving to everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
not to themselves. So everybody else is getting like a watered down version of them, because you have to realize, like, when you take care of yourself, you can do more for other people if you take care of yourself first.
Oh, definitely. Let me pause you here.
That's
I
cool.
I really appreciate everything you have shared because it gives us a full picture of who you are. But I am curious about one aspect and kind of backtrack a little bit. You went from pro football that a lot of people don't ever make in life. So you were already all the way here, even with the pro football. Then, after that chapter was over, you took time to really figure out what you wanted. But what I'm trying to really figure out of everything you could have done, what was it specifically about fitness that sparked your interest out of everything that you could have really pursued? What was it about the fitness? Because not all ex pro football players do something with fitness and wanting to help others with their overall self, and just not fitness, but you worked on that personal development piece. What was that trigger?
So you say, I mean, you said that you made a very good point. You said that I chose fitness. You know what? I kind of feel like it chose me. I
Mm,
feel like it was always around. I feel like it was always in my ear. Like I always wanted to know. So listen, it's a thing where, as a human being, humans need progress. We need to be moving forward to feel like
mhm.
that's what life is about: progress. Never
Yeah.
sitting still, kind of staying, you know, moving forward. Now, I think everybody has a gift. I think everybody does somewhere, whether it's wash cars or, you know, I'm sorry, whether it's
It's
wash
okay.
cars,
It's totally all
whether it's
right.
wash cars,
Mhm.
or if it's, I don't know, like cleaning houses, like if it's, like helping people fix their relationships with whatever, like
Mhm.
everybody has something they do well, and it's not yours. It's not yours. It's a gift, but it's not yours. It was
Mhm.
given to you, by your creator. And I just feel like you use those gifts to do for. You give. The guy who started Herbalife, and I will never forget
Oh
this quote.
yeah.
You get everything you want once you give. If you give to everybody, you always get what you want in the end. Like, that's just how it is. So I was always trying to base my decisions off of providing a service. Because I always knew, like, if I could be good at something, if I could provide a service, that service would take care of me some way. Maybe not right away, maybe 10 years down the road, but it would provide for me in some way. And people just kept, like, it would not go away. But when I loved to exercise, so I was always in the gym. So I was always getting, I was always constantly having people, like, asking me, like, can you train me? Can you train me? I'm like, I'm not a trainer. Like, I'm an ex-athlete, but I'm not a trainer. It's a big thing. And it helped me really come to understand what that, it helped me come to understand what that actually meant, because I related my fitness with, training. And it's a different thing. The way an athlete trains has nothing to do with how a mom of 2 or 3 trains, And I had to be able to relate with that, because in the beginning I couldn't. I wasn't some of the best coaches from a fitness standpoint are coaches who lost 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds of weight, and then motivates the heck out of them to go and serve it up to other people. And that's their thing. That might be their gift. So my story is different in that sense, because, like, those, I think, are very powerful coaches. First and foremost, those are very powerful coaches, because they believe in what they're saying, because they lived it.
Yes.
They were once overweight. So I think that is something that it inspired me to be able to do something to help someone's life. And for me, fitness was just that way. It made so much sense. It's like 2 + 2 is 4. And I felt like it kind of was just following me around for a while. I fought it for a while, because I was definitely doing other things, but that was the one thing that was constant in my life, and still is to this day.
Yeah, because you are definitely in your gift, and I will share more later with the actual audience, but you are stellar at what you do. And so I'm glad that you took that leap and it said, yeah, this is what I want to do. Now, this might seem like a basic question, but people are at different levels in life and truly might not know. But just kind of briefly tell us, what is a personal fitness trainer? What do they do? What do they specialize in? How do they help people?
So now, I mean, fitness is like, it's so, like, if you think about the body, it's so many different parts of it. Like, if I'm breaking it down to the bones of what a personal fitness coach trainer is, it is for someone who has a knowledge of the body, of exercise, of the basics, just the bare essentials. Like, everybody's not going to have a PhD in exercise science, but they understand calories in, calories out. And they know how to take a human being through a movement, in the most proper way possible, without there being any injury to their body or anything else. So, and nowadays it's even more. So not only do you need to be able to do that, you also need to be able to motivate people. And when I say motivate, because motivation doesn't last long, discipline does. So motivation should actually lead you to being more disciplined. So I think that what they do is they show people that it can be more than what they are. And I think even when they know that they can be more than what they are, like, but they show them it's something that's physical. So while a trainer is always known for exercise, I think they do a lot more. I think they build confidence in their clients to show them that anything is possible they can do if they want to do it. And it always starts with them. It starts with their health. You can have all the money in the world. If you're not healthy, you ain't gonna live long enough to spend it.
So you're right. Oh yes, facts. All the way.
It really comes down to, caring about your clients and caring about people. So I'm breaking it down from that to the bones. You have to care. And it's no difference than any other service area. Like, you serve food. If you care about the person that's eating at that's at your table. If you got tables 9 through 5 and you taking the time you care, it's really about, do you care? But for a coach, obviously you have to care, but you have to know like what you're talking about. You got to know you know, everybody's different. No one has the same blueprint. So if a coach is telling you, you know, they're giving everybody the same outline, or you know, if it's almost like a doctor or somebody going into every patient, every situation is different. So you need to know how to deal with that, right? So I mean, I think it's somebody who cares, and I think it's somebody who's knowledgeable, obviously, but I think it's a confidence builder more than anything. They have to build confidence. So
and
if,
and and what exactly should a person look for if they're trying to find a personal trainer? What tips would you give them?
Repeat that question for me one more time. I'm sorry.
Yes. So say a person has never worked with a personal trainer or fitness coach. What would you tell them is what they should look for when seeking out a personal trainer?
Listen, the first thing I think you should always do, because it's a lot of people. I mean, you don't have to, you can do almost anything to get a certificate as a personal trainer now. So just because someone says they're a personal trainer, they're not. And I'm never going to say, oh, they have to be somebody that has done, you know, like been in the game for 10 years or 5 years, because I know some passionate, young and more mature people out there who are really into what they do. But the first thing I would ask them is, you want to use referrals. Like a lot of my clients come from referrals. I mean, because then you know, like, it's like one of those things where it's like, you know that they care, A. You also know that somebody else, I mean, has already been that bullet for you, so you don't have to be nervous. You know, like you just need to get a referral. Any good coach, they might not, even if they've been doing it for 2 years, if they've only had one client, they had 2 clients, they had 5 clients. That's all you really need. If you have 2 people, you have 5 clients, and you find 2 people that tell you that that person is like very, very, very good at what they do, or they care. And it doesn't have to be they have to know everything. But if they care, if they put an effort into you, that's the type of person you want to work with, because you're gonna have your struggles. So you can't have somebody that understands. Like, I can have somebody that knows how to do all of these exercises that are on Instagram and it look crazy, but that's like, it's so much more than that. You got to be able to relate with people. You got to care. So referrals are a big thing. Like, it's okay to ask. Like, if you're gonna pay money, it's okay to ask. Hey, do you have some referrals? 1 or 2 people that can, you know, vouch your services, right? Or when you're on their pages, like, check to see who's saying what about it. Like, most coaches, if they know what they're doing, if they want people to know, they should have testimonials. And I like video testimonials. I mean, you can post a text on Facebook or something, but like a video testimonial, when like you can hear or you can see somebody talking, and I think that speaks volumes. So that still goes into that referral area for me. The other thing I would tell them is, listen, honestly, you pay for what you get. So the cheapest coach is not probably always the best coach. Like, you pay for what you get. Like, you
need to say that again. Yes, because people try to cut corners and get
crazy.
Mad, and they will get upset if it's not what they were expecting.
Exactly. Like, think about it. Like, this is your body. This is like, you need to invest in you. Just like if you're gonna go to college for 4 years, and you're gonna pay, you know, I mean, it's way more expensive than it was when I was going, but it's an investment. You need to know it's an investment. So you have to have skin in the game. If you have skin in the game, I love when clients have skin in the game, because I know they're committed. That to me is commitment. If you don't want to take my price, if you don't want my services because of the price, then it might not be that you don't believe in me. You might not have the money to do it. That's okay. But if you have it and you don't want to do it, you probably are not the client for me, because you're probably not dedicated to yourself. Because ultimately it's yourself. You know, I'm a coach, and I'm a pathway. That's all I am. But everybody has to walk that path, right?
That's right. That's right.
You know, so it shows for the really good coaches and the ones who've been doing it for a while, they use it as I'm interviewing you like you interviewing me. At the end of the conversation, I might say, hey, I mean, we're just not a good fit for each other. And I won't take your money, because I'd rather have someone who's dedicated to improving themselves than having somebody that can open up their checkbook but not be dedicated to the process, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I think that's a great transition into talk about the importance between the trainer and the client relationship. Because yes, you can hire somebody, but there has to be a connection there and it has to be built on certain principles. So,
Mm-hmm.
how important is that trainer client relationship?
So I think trainer client relationship is huge. I think that's probably number one because like the price can be right, the coach can be very knowledgeable, the client can be really ready to run through walls to achieve their health
Mm-hmm.
goals. But if you don't vibe, if you don't have the connection, if you don't feel comfortable, and I mean a comfortable level doesn't have to be like, oh, like, you know, somebody you tell your life to, but it does have to be a level of comfort where you know, you can confide in them when you hit roadblocks and sometimes personal stuff comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Not, you know, not super personal, but you know, like sometimes if you need to share certain things, especially like I work with a lot of female clients, like they need to feel comfortable telling me, hey, it's not a good time this month to be doing X, Y, and Z. And they need to feel
Mm-hmm.
comfortable doing that. So I think that is probably the biggest thing. I'm glad you said that because that's a huge thing that people overlook it. Because it's like you could listen. I've seen people train with trainers and coaches that are not great, but they make them feel good, and in somehow in a way it works for them. They feel good about their workout at the end of the day, and they might be getting results. They may not, but it just depends on what you're really looking for. But that relationship is key. Like that'll you can have 20 clients, and
Mm-hmm.
15 of them might only be with you because of how you make them feel, not necessarily the exercises or the regimen that you have them on. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
definitely being 100% transparent here.
Wow. How would you, so with this podcast being the, and as y'all can hear, he is a family man and I love it. And it's
Thank you.
totally okay. But look, how do you empower, since this podcast is all about power transformation and health principles and practices from a holistic standpoint? Say if you have a client that is getting frustrated, getting a bit discouraged, how do you empower them or how do you encourage them to keep going, to try not to give in? Now people make choices,
Mhm.
it's still ultimately up to them, but what do you do or say as a coach to keep them inspired to continue moving forward?
Okay, so I love this question. You got good questions. You really
Thank you.
came prepared. All right. So one thing you want to definitely do is you want to make sure. One thing you want to make sure you do is make sure you stop crying first. One thing you want to make sure you definitely do, right,
Mhm.
is he is not happy. I'm not happy. So, all right. So, repeat the question again. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
He got me super.
it is totally okay. And I tell all of my guests up front that I like organic conversations, authenticity. Unless
I'm sorry.
something super wild happens, then I will, change it up, edit. But
Yeah, we're good.
having your kids there is totally okay. All right. And
Yeah.
y'all, I just have to kind of make this brief statement. He is so flexible with his schedule. This is a busy man. And the time that we are actually doing this is after 9 o'clock p.m. And we have both had long days, but it's just the fact that he is committed and he's loyal and he sticks to his word. And I am grateful for that. But the question was, how, Jamaine, do you empower your clients? What do you say to keep them inspired, specifically those who may get frustrated with the process, discouraged, want to give up, what do you say or do in general to help that person to keep going?
Okay. So when I first talked to, got first encounter with with a possible client, I want to know a few things. But one of the things that really sticks out to me is, why do you want to coach? Like, why do you want to improve your fitness? Why do you want to, you know, uh, start working out now? Like, what's the difference now? Like, why now? And I get a lot of things. And that first answer is always just surface. So what we need to do is we have to ask. So I read a book by a guy. He said, you have to ask someone 8 times why to get to that center, because they might not even know, right? So, why do you want to lose weight? I wanna, I want to look good for my wife. I want to look good for my husband. Okay, why you want to look good for your husband? All right, well, I don't know. She's not been giving me that attention lately, and okay, so why do you think she have to get it? And it just keeps going deeper. And what you do is you get to about 5 or 6 and you start to pull some layers away. So the first thing I try to do is I try to really find out why they want to work with me. Because they could work, they could go take a class, a lot of things, right? And so I get to that why. And sometimes it's a little uncomfortable because you got to dig a little bit, right? And this comes from just my sales side, because I've had jobs where I had to sell and I want to know why, why. But I also want this is my as I call my secret weapon, or my thing that I keep for all my clients. Why? So when I get that why, after a little bit of digging, and I might not get it the first time, I might still vibe with them, sign them up. I might not get that why till 6 months later. But when I get it, I know. And that is why they're here. And it has to be something that when you say it, you get a feeling. You feel something, right? Whether it's your kids or it's like, you lost your mom or something, you don't want to go down that same road. So like, whenever they hit roadblocks, and they will, if somebody goes and just loses this weight, improves their life, and they don't go through roadblocks, we on the wrong path. We need to continue to go. I'm looking for, there has to be some level of perseverance, right? So when it gets really tough, when they want to quit, when they want to, we go back to that date on March 7th, a year ago, 6 months ago. This is what you told me. Is this still a thing? Do you still want to prove that? Is it still because of X, Y, and Z? Is it still because of that? And we go right back through those movements. And we try to figure out how we can replicate that initial feeling when we first talked about it a year ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, right? And it's never about me trying to keep a client, trying to keep that money coming in. It's not about that. It's about, if I'm still a person, if we're still in this point in life, because everybody you're not going to train with. Some people come in your life for seasons, longer or shorter, but it might be time for them to move on. But we're going to find out right now. We're going to stop everything we're doing. We'll have a conversation and we'll reassess. Now, if you still get that feeling in your throat and we're not there yet, like, you're just going through a phase. I let them know it's just a phase. And it just, honestly, when things start to come up like that, you're growing. It means things are happening. That means, like, if you were in the same place doing the same thing, it would be this. I'm not saying there wouldn't be some pain, but it would be the same pain. So then we got different problems. So normally it's a different problem. It's something different. And sometimes it comes from a good place, sometimes it doesn't. But I always revisit why. Why do you want to change your health? Why do you want to improve your health? And I've already educated them throughout that time frame what changing your health does for your life. I find little wins in their day-to-day and everything to show them that they are improving and moving forward. So why would you stop now? So always letting them just basically just be in their journal. Remember what you said on this day about X, Y, and Z. And if this is something that you still feel that way about,
then hey, and also it touches on the fact that physical fitness and working out and getting trained goes far deeper than just the physical. It is definitely a mind, body, soul connection. Everything is intertwined, because it's so much mind over anything, especially when you're lifting, when you're training hard. It's really how you shift and adjust your mindset. And so people often see those people who are lifting and are like, oh my goodness, how do they do that? Or even doing planks. A lot of it goes back to the mind. How is your mind? Is your mind strong enough to know and to say, I can do this and I'm going to keep at it? Because as long as you are constantly keeping your mind shifted into the longer goal at hand, then you have that success. So how have you seen your clients, and you can explain it briefly, but talk a little bit about that mind body connection. How does that work together when it comes to personal training?
So it's interesting you say that because a lot of people don't know about it. Is a mind muscle connection. It's a
Yes.
mental thing, and a lot of people are not aware of it. And I've had clients who have found it in one day at this specific time, and they just figured it out. It just clicked that it could have been working out for the last 5 years, and then one day, maybe the way something is said, or the way it feels, or even the way that they do it changes, and they realize it is a muscle, it is a mind and muscle connection, for you. So it's a huge thing. Like, I mean, not only from the standpoint of you can feel the muscle and that connection with the muscle, but what it does for you from a mental standpoint when you're working out, when you're exercising. Some people use it. Listen, that's one of the hugest, one of the, like, I can say the biggest stress relievers out there that doesn't involve alcohol, some type of drug or something like that may not be, or may be detrimental to you down the road. So from a standpoint of just like it being a mental thing, it's huge.
That's right.
Huge. And I mean, like, not only is exercise is stress, but it's a good stress. It's a good stress. You're stressing your body, and from that stress, body grows a more improved, better, version of you. I think people become better versions of themselves when they work out, because a lot of times you see some people, what you see is their stress, like, that's coming out, whether it's personal, work, whatever it may be. But I feel like everyone needs to outlet that stress, and I feel like working out is one of the best ways to do it. I think everyone should be out of breath once a day. That's I heard someone say it that way. They should be out of breath every day. And
yes.
Or if you think about quitting what you're doing, if you're doing, squats and you just want to quit, you're doing good today. That's a good thing.
Because I have seen people online who straight up paraplegics who don't have limbs and are still bodybuilder competitors and are still exercising without arms or legs. It is possible. So people really don't have the excuse. Even if you start small, just by 5 minutes a day, and then you build up to 10 minutes and 11, 12, etc. Oh my goodness, this was so loaded. We could go on, and I want to have you back in the future to even talk more about, specific aspects of physical health and more. But before we leave, how can people connect with you? Share your contact info in terms of your website, social media, if people want to contact you. And are you accepting new clients virtually?
Yes, and yes to everything. So if you want to, if anyone wants to reach me, the brand is Borne to Win. On Instagram, it is Borne to Win, BORNE TOWIN __. All right, so 2 underscores. We do merchandise. We also have a story. And I say we as in me, but It's
Mm-hmm.
not just me. If you go to Fit by Maine,
Mm-hmm.
FITBYMAINE.com, you can see what the brand is about. We talk about the brand, and we talk about, you can also reach out to me there if you want to try to set up a call. But normally, if you're on my social media, you get to, I'm constantly posting about
Mm-hmm.
things. I have my clients working out all the time. I'm always showcasing clients and exercises. I'm always doing motivational things. And you can also just read, you can book a call with me anytime. Whether
Yeah.
you want to, you can DM me. I'm very open and out with my information. You don't have to
Mm-hmm.
necessarily be a client to get pointed in the right direction. But yeah, I'm always taking clients virtually. So yeah, no, definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
those are the biggest ways to get in touch with me. And my handle is the same on pretty much all. So if you find, I'm Born to Win everywhere. So
Okay. Okay. So on Instagram.
Instagram,
Okay.
that's probably the biggest one. Probably the biggest one I'm
Instagram.
on. Yeah,
Okay. Perfect. And as long as they have your Instagram and your website, perfect.
definitely.
Especially people who might not have Instagram, you
Yeah,
can't go to his website. Do you have a
exactly.
fitness page on Facebook?
Yes, I do. I have
Okay.
Born to Win. So I have two fitness pages. I have a baby and a parent. So I have Born.
Wow.
Yeah, I have Born to Win, which is just Born to Win,
Mm-hmm.
and I also have one that caters to the ladies. It's called Fitter Females. FITTER Females. And that I don't post on this as much, but like it's usually geared towards ladies and the different things they can do to improve their health, either from an aesthetic standpoint or a mental
Mm-hmm.
standpoint.
Thank you. And
Yes.
um and also audience, I will have this in the show notes, but I like to ask because everybody doesn't always read the notes. And as we close out, I just like to share on a more personal note. So he is such a humble person. I can say that about him. He definitely is not arrogant, but Jamaine and I have literally known each other since we were 5 years old in kindergarten. We were in the
We go
same
back.
kindergarten class.
We go
So
way back.
we are in our 40s now, early 40s now, and we have known each other
Mhm.
since kindergarten. And there was a time when we didn't go to the same schools consistently, but then we reconnected in middle or high school. But either way, it was like, oh my goodness. And he was still such a nice guy, just a nice man, nice person, a wonderful human. And he wasn't the kind of people who acted pompous or stuck up. So even when he blew up in high school with all of his, football stuff, he was still just real chill, cool, down to earth. And I really appreciated that, especially having been friends with him since kindergarten. But in terms of his training, I just don't have any old body on my podcast. When we were in quarantine due to the pandemic, I wasn't going to the gym in person. And I've had a trainer for many years, excellent person, but Jamaine does virtual workouts. And that is exactly what I needed. So, y'all, when I tell you this brother worked me during quarantine, and it really helped. And I am not an active client right now of his, but he's definitely somebody, especially with that virtual option, that he is not completely off of the table. And I didn't even stop due to him. It was based on my schedule, based
Mhm.
to things opening up again. Life happens, but I can vouch and I can attest as a client of his, he is definitely the real deal, but you got to be willing to put in the work and investment for it. And you can tell that he is training you to fit your body. He does not do a one size fits all approach at all. He listens to you. He helps you, but you got to be willing to put in the work. And there are some things that he trained me on virtually that I still apply literally every single day of my life. And that is a huge testament to how outstanding he is as a coach. So I'm giving him a plug. He is the trainer you want specifically if you have a very active lifestyle and you need something virtual. But I love you, man. Thank you for taking the time up here. It is an honor having you here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Really nice words. You just sold me to whoever's listening to this podcast. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. We go way back. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to being back on. And I'm hoping that this, everything you continue to do. Proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you for having me on.
Wow, wow, wow. That was loaded. And I am so grateful for Jamaine for coming on today and sharing with us all. Please make sure to follow Jamaine. And once again, if you want that virtual personal training, connect with Jamaine. You will not regret doing so. You will see results. So let's go ahead and close with our affirmation. I take steps each day towards living my healthiest life. If you enjoyed today's show, then you don't want to miss an episode. So follow the Power Transformation Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you usually listen, and remember to rate and review. I also invite you to connect with me on social media at Alethea Felton. That's at ALETHEAFELTON. Until next time, remember to be good to yourself and to others.